The smile.
And still undefeated, Gervonta Tank Davis.
What'd you think, man?
No.
No?
I think it was a great fight. I think it was a great fight. It was amazing.
Tank is the best fighter in the world. Tank's the best fighter in the world. And his team's been saying it.
What's start fast, let his hands go, impose his will, but he got to put his chin down. He got to be defensive minded. And Tank, great game plan.
Yeah, actually, no, that was a beautiful knockout. I ain't gonna lie, that was a beautiful knockout. That was beautiful.
How do you set it up in your eyes? How'd you see him?
But
What do you think about Gervonta?
I think Gervonta did good. I think he waited a little bit. I think I feel like he gets them tired first until he explodes on them.
You got to be there with him. If you're not mentally strong, that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna break you down.
Anything else that Ryan could have done differently throughout the fight?
I just feel like he just fought the wrong fight. He was following him around round one.
The fight went exactly as I would say 100% of us expected it to go. I don't think there was very many people that
first, you know what I'm saying, he held his defense up pretty high, so he was able to maintain for a long time. But I think that whenever Tank was ready to close the gaps, he closed.
He tried to fight, but he was unsuccessful. But it is what it is. He showed what happened to him. He got knocked out. He got
His performance. What do you think about Gervonta?
I think Gervonta did good. I think he waited a little bit. I think I feel like he gets them tired first until he explodes on them all crazy.
What next match would you like to see for him? Maybe a Shakur fight, possibly a David?
Tank's always shown that he's very well equipped with skills, and he's strong. So I'm assuming that punch really was the factor.
It's close, but that's what he was all about. You feel me? Rolly got a little comfortable.
it was an ugly fight. It could have been either way, but Tank got him out of
Monster, the modern day Mike Tyson.
What do you think is next for Tank Davis after this? What would you like to see?
I mean, listen, put him in big fights. He's ready for everybody.
Not too much. What did you think about Tank's power tonight? Did you think he was winning the fight up until the stoppage?
I mean, it was close, but like I say, man, he got a lot of experience, so he's really just setting it up.
You got to go back up there.
Setting it up, taking his time. He's taking his time, just setting it up.
You know, he made a mistake and got a little froggy. He showed the world that he could outbox the champion, and he outboxed him. But thank you, appreciate that. But you know, Tank is a champion for a reason. I told him he has timing and he has experience. Time and experience.
The fight we'd all been waiting for finally happened, and just as expected, Tank Davis came out on top once again. This time, he took down Lamont Roach, just like so many others before him. Roach, like many of Tank's past opponents, talked a big game before the fight, convinced he had what it took to get the knockout. But once they stepped into the ring, reality set in, and Tank's punches hit even harder. Roach came in confident, believing he had the perfect strategy to exploit Tank's weaknesses. But just like the 30 fighters before him, he quickly learned that there are levels to this sport.
I'm gonna do me regardless. I told him to leave his mom's and, you know, the people home, and he still brung them. It's crazy, man. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad.
The moment Tank figured Roach out, it was game over. A few heavy shots later, and Roach had no answers. The fight ended just as most expected. Tank victorious, untouched, and still undefeated. But surprisingly, the post-fight buzz wasn't about Tank's performance. No one seemed overly impressed, especially the big names sitting ringside. Among those watching from the arena were Terrence "Bud" Crawford, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and the man behind some of boxing's biggest recent fights, Turki Alalshik.
we gonna make sure tell Terrence Crawford keep his name out your mouth. You know what I mean? He talking crazy. He talking crazy. He talking. You think about that one?
Nah, it was just some, talking on some Twitter like back and forth.
Their reactions said it all. They weren't exactly blown away by what they had just seen. Terrence Crawford, never one to hold back, summed it up in just a few words. Just another win to look good for months. Crawford has been vocal about his criticism of Tank's opponents, believing he's been playing it safe. In his eyes, Tank is more focused on protecting his undefeated record than truly pushing himself against the toughest competition. Crawford sees it as a strategy to maintain his image rather than build a legacy.
Tank, at 147, how does a fight with you and Terrence Crawford look?
147?
147.
Shit, I tapped that trend. You know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he is.
He's just arrogant, Crawford said when asked about Tank's latest win. He wants attention and all, but he should be giving fans real fights, not just trying to look good for the crowd. Crawford hasn't held back when it comes to his opinion. He firmly believes there's only one fighter who can truly beat Tank, Shakur Stevenson. He's called Shakur Tank's kryptonite, the one opponent with the skill, defense, and ring IQ to neutralize Tank's power and completely outbox him. And it looks like Turki Alashik might agree. Right in the middle of the post-fight discussions, he made an announcement that sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Tank has officially agreed to 2 fights this year. And these aren't just any fights, they're the ones fans have been waiting for. Turki didn't drop any names, but it didn't take long for people to start putting the pieces together. For months, he's been pushing Tank to step up and take on the toughest challenges in the division. The most talked about fight: Tank versus Devin Haney. Turki has been working non-stop to make the biggest matchups happen, and this announcement made one thing clear: Tank's next 2 fights won't be easy tune-ups. They'll be the real deal. The obvious names: Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson.
Devin, thoughts on the fight? Thoughts on the fight, Devin?
Haney, the current undisputed champion, has been calling for this fight for a long time. He sees himself as the best at 135 pounds and has repeatedly said he has the skills to beat Tank. In Haney's eyes, the hype around Tank is just that, hype. He's confident he can outbox him, break him down over 12 rounds, and prove once and for all that skill beats power. Shakur, on the other hand, has been just as vocal. He's long argued that Tank has been protected, with his team carefully picking opponents to avoid real challenges. But now, with Turki confirming that 2 major fights are locked in, Shakur knows his time is coming. The difference now: no more excuses. No more tune-ups. No more avoiding the biggest threats in the division. Just when it seemed like the night couldn't get any more interesting, Oscar De La Hoya dropped another bombshell. Tank vs. Ryan Garcia 2 is happening. No official date yet, but it's confirmed. Ryan has been pushing for a rematch ever since their first fight, believing he wasn't at his best. He blamed the weight cut for draining him and admitted to making mistakes he swears he won't repeat. Since then, he's made headlines for all the wrong reasons: social media meltdowns, legal trouble, and constant criticism from the boxing world. But for Ryan, this rematch is more than just another fight. It's his shot at redemption.
You know, in all of boxing, in regards to where you're at in your weight class and how you consistently are just knocking guys out, what's that feeling like when you do?
I feel like
Oscar De La Hoya wasted no time building the hype, claiming Ryan is coming back with a new energy, one that could be a real problem for Tank or even Devin Haney. He's been vocal about Ryan's talent, insisting that his speed and power make him a serious threat to anyone in the division. And with all the chaos surrounding Ryan lately, this rematch could be his chance to remind the world that he's still a legitimate contender. But the bigger story here isn't just the fights. It's what this all means for Tank's future. Just a few months ago, rumors were swirling that Tank wasn't interested in working with Turki Alashik. He wanted to stay independent, control his own career, and avoid long-term deals. Now, with these major fights lined up, everything seems to have changed.
He's saying I drank. No, I did not. He was eating the day before. Like, we had a media workout. He was eating at his media workout, bro. I wasn't even eating at my media workout. You get what I'm saying? Like, it just, he tricked the people like, yeah, I'm draining. No, you wasn't. I just made him have to work.
But now, Tank is all in, and that changes everything. Turki Alalshik isn't just another promoter or businessman in boxing. He's the one making the biggest fights happen, putting up the money, setting up the deals, and ensuring the best fight the best. With Tank now working directly with Turki, the biggest fights in the division are no longer just talk, they're inevitable. Haney, Shakur, Ryan, these matchups aren't just possibilities anymore. They're happening.
He didn't know how good I was and how I would have handled the situation, so he just threw me out there. He was hurt. I mean, not even hurt, he just...
Crawford knew it. That's why he was there, watching everything unfold. He's been pushing for these fights for months, calling for Tank to step up and prove himself against the best. And now, with Turki Alalshik making the big moves, there's no more room for excuses. Tank made a statement tonight, proving once again that he's still the king of the division. He still has the power. He's still the one everyone is chasing. But now, the real test begins. Because no matter how many knockouts he adds or how perfect his record stays, the only thing that truly matters is whether he can beat the best. And with Haney, Shakur, and Ryan all lined up, we're about to find out if Tank is really as untouchable as he claims to be.
It was a professional versus an amateur.
With Tank's fights, the outcome is never in doubt, only the timing. A knockout is always coming. It's just a matter of when. At the weigh-in, Tank knew it too. Same old, he told the crowd. I've got to give them what they want to see. He didn't need to say much. He never does. His punches speak for themselves. For Roach, the real question was whether he could last long enough to make things interesting. Could he avoid that one shot that ends it all? Could he pull off the impossible and shock the world? The odds were stacked against him from the start, but he believed. And so did the people in his corner.
For everybody to be talking shit to Gervonta, it don't be coming out good for them, my nigga. I'm just keeping it real.
He obviously a superstar. But just because it's who he is, this don't change no program that I got going on. I'm here to win. I've been coming to win. And I think the same result will happen on December the 14th.
At the weigh-in, Roach came in right at 135 pounds, while Tank looked a bit drained at 133.8. It got people talking. Maybe Roach had an edge. Maybe the weight cut hit Tank harder this time. Roach was feeling confident. I told him this is real, he said after their face-off. I'm one of the best fighters in the world, and I can't wait for you all to see it. Promoter Tom Brown leaned into that narrative, hyping it up as champion versus champion, Baltimore versus DC. Who was the bigger man today? He sold the fight like it was a close one, but in reality, it never was. Roach's team felt good too. His co-promoter, Gary Jonas, kept saying it. Roach wasn't scared. He had known Tank since they were kids, had fought him twice in the amateurs. The advantage Lamont has is they go way back, Jonas said. Psychologically, that's an edge over the other guys who get intimidated by Tank, but here's the thing. Knowing Tank doesn't mean you can stop him. Despite all the talk and confidence, Roach was the underdog for a reason. He was moving up in weight against a guy who had knocked out 28 of his 30 opponents. This wasn't just about skill, it was about power. And Tank had plenty of it. Roach was solid, technically sound, but to win, he had to fight a perfect fight. 12 flawless rounds. One mistake, and it could all be over.
Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends? Probably.
Is it going to be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all going to be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money. Yeah.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
Then there was the bet. Tank and Roach made some kind of wager after the weigh-in. Some lip readers guessed it was $20,000, while others thought it was as high as $250,000. Maybe Roach really believed he had a shot, or maybe he just wanted to prove a point. Either way, it didn't age well. Roach carried that same confidence into every interview leading up to the fight. Sitting back on a Zoom call with DAZN, he was calm and composed. I have no doubt in myself, my skills, my strength, my will, he said. We're going to put it all together. He promised a career-defining performance. The fight might not even look like how a lot of people expect it to look. Honestly, it's going to be a real spectacle.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plants.
Roach didn't care about the critics. They'll just have to wait and see, he said. For real, I couldn't care less about their doubts. He spoke like a man on a mission. Someone who truly believed he was about to shock the world. But belief doesn't win fights. When the bell rang, reality set in. The fight played out exactly as expected. Roach gave it his best shot. He had his moments, but they weren't enough. Tank did what he always does. He took his time, found his range, and when the moment was right, he finished the job. After the fight, Roach wasn't the same.
It's gonna be a party on your
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's name. He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking.
How you gonna say it's cap?
It gotta be.
You gonna say it's cap? I'm watching it.
The fire he had before, it was gone. He was already talking about stepping away. Maybe for good. That confidence he carried into the ring had disappeared. This was the biggest fight of his career, his one shot at greatness. But like so many before him, he came up short. Everyone's talking about what's next for Tank, and it all starts with Shakur. Do you think we'll finally get the fights we've been waiting for? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.